right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Naima and welcome back to my channel, or two if you are new. And today is Friday, so that means we are doing another recommendation video, and I'm so excited for this one because it is one of my favorite tropes ever. It is I hate everyone in the world but you. And I just always love this trope from TV shows and movies, and it wouldn't be an exception to romance books. So I'm filming it today. I'm so excited. Lots of books fit this trope, so I had some trouble narrowing it down. I'm trying to do 5 to 6 books for each recommendation video, just so I don't run out. The ones I chose are some that like I haven't heard much about or haven't seen a lot of places. I tried to avoid like the super popular ones. There is one, maybe two. They're just kind of all here, and I'm like, okay, which ones in the moment? Like, I'll feel it out. I tried to, most of them will be ones that I feel like I haven't heard that many people talking about. So, oh wow, I really look like a fish from Fish Hooks right now. I don't know. Okay. Just disregard that. If you guys missed last week's recommendation video, it was best bingeable romance book series, and I loved that video so much. It was like the first video I filmed when I got my camera, so if you haven't checked that video out, it will be linked down below and up in the cards. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into my favorite I hate everyone in the world but you books. Your first book that I'm recommending is Landon and Shay by Brittany C. Cherry, and I really loved this book. I found myself giggling out loud. It was just so adorable and so cute, but also incredibly like sad and incredibly heartbreaking. There's trigger warnings for drug abuse, trigger warnings for depression, self-harm, and I believe that's it, but if I can remember, I'll have it linked down. But Landon and Shay, it's actually a duology, so there's part 1 and part 2. I haven't gotten around to part 2 yet, but part 1 was so beautiful and so sad and just amazing. So basically, Landon and Shay always hated each other while growing up. I don't know why. They just have always gotten a bad vibe from one another, and Landon was always like the popular kid, and so was Shay. Shay was also popular, but they had similar friends in common, but they weren't friends themselves. They ran in the same circles kind of thing. And so basically they just kind of spent all this time hating each other. Shay's grandmother is actually Landon's like housekeeper and cook and everything. So they've always been in each other's orbit, but they just never really clicked and never really liked each other. They actually claim that they hate each other. So a new guy joins Landon and Shay's school. Landon automatically gets super bad vibes from him. Go to a party and the new guy is like, what's up with Shay? Like, I bet you can't get her. She hates you, this and that. And Landon is like, no, I can get Shay if I wanted to. Like, I just don't want to. And so the new guy's like, okay, let's make a bet. Like, if you say you can get Shay, get Shay. And Landon makes the bet with the new guy, not knowing that Shay is literally outside the door at this party listening to the entire thing. So she walks in and she's like, we're gonna make bets about me, then I would like to be a part of it. So she's like, I bet you that I can make you fall in love with me. And so they both are like daring each other to make each other fall in love with each other, and it's so good. But the whole I hate everyone but you aspect comes from the fact that Landon is very, very depressed. He hates his friends. He hates that new guy. He doesn't have his father anymore. He literally abuses drugs. He literally cannot stand anyone, and it's honestly because of his mental state, except for Shay. And he's been going through things with his mom. His mom is never around. He thinks that she doesn't want him anymore, and it's incredibly sad but so cute and so heartwarming. And what starts off as like hate to daring to friends to lovers, just so good. And there's actually so many plot twists in here that I was not expecting, and it was so much fun. So if you haven't read this book, you need to read it. First of all, Black author, she's amazing. I love Brittany C. Cherry. I need to read more of her backlist. Chef's kiss, it is so good. The next book that I'm recommending is Bitter Heat, and this is one that I actually recently read. I think did I talk about it in my April wrap-up? I believe so. So this book ended up being so good. I almost DNF'd it, but I'm so glad I did it. Bitter Heat follows Jasmine. Jasmine comes from a super rich family. Her dad is very famous. He has tons of money. He has his hands in different things like businesses and stocks and everything. They're basically super rich, super powerful, super wealthy. You know how it goes. And so because of this, the father of Jasmine wanted to marry her off to someone who, you know, fit the mold and allyship, I guess, with other influential families. So he wanted to set her up with somebody, one of his friends' son or something. Jasmine didn't want to do this, and she actually met somebody who she fell in love with. So these two kind of run away, and the dad cannot stand the guy who she ends up liking. She thinks he's a nobody. He's basically like a guy who's from the other side of the train track, and you know, he always wanted to be this businessman, his influential man, but her dad's like a wannabe. I don't like him. And so they get married. She kind of ruins her relationship with her family because she's in love and she doesn't want to marry this random guy. She wants to marry the person that she loves. So they move away together. Their marriage starts off really, really great, but then the husband starts to go a little bit psycho. Always wanted to be incredibly rich and always wanted to be influential. And so he kind of just puts his whole heart and soul and business into this. He starts keeping secrets from his wife. He is away most of the time, and she decides that she deserves better and she breaks up with him and she calls off their marriage. So 5 years go by. This guy is incredibly rich now and they end up reuniting, and this guy, first of all, this relationship, guys, is incredibly toxic. So if you don't like that, then stay clear. But this one is incredibly toxic. It's a toxic relationship, but it is so good, and he literally hates everyone but her. I haven't even gotten, because there's a second book coming out, I haven't even gotten to the parts. I haven't even got to the but you part. Like, he literally hates everyone and he's only out for himself, and he wants whatever is going to make him rich, help him elevate his status. And it is just so good, guys. Like, he literally hates everyone but her. We haven't gotten to the but you part, but like, it's so evident in the way they interact and the way it's basically like a second chance romance in a way, but with a darker twist. And it is so good, and I loved it so much, and I'm patiently waiting for the second book. The next book is actually a duology. I feel bad. I feel like I keep recommending duologies, but honestly, it is a He Hates Me duet, or is it the Hate and Love? I'm pretty sure it's the Hate and Love duet by Rena Kent, and the very first one is He Hates Me Not. And this guy's a psycho, like literally crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is a stalker romance. I love stalker romances for some reason. It just feeds my soul, and I haven't talked about this in so long on my channel. So the first one is He Hates Me, the hero, and he is known as like the cleaner or the fixer or something like that, where he basically kills people. He just kills people for his boss, and his boss is like a leader of the mafia, of one of the mafias, and so he kind of just kills people whenever he's asked to. And one day he is near a hospital and sees a nurse leaving the hospital, and that is the heroine. He becomes absolutely obsessed with the heroine. He moves in across the street from her, he's following her, and it is honestly the best time ever. It is so much fun. Literally so much fun. He basically is like breaking into her apartment, and she has 2 cats there. She feels like she's seeing stuff and she feels like she's going crazy, but no, he literally is breaking into her apartment when she's not there. They finally meet one day. I don't want to give you guys any spoilers, but they finally meet one day. Her relationship is just so crazy and so much fun, and he is the epitome of I hate everyone but you. Literally, he kills people. Like, he literally has no hope for humanity. Like, he literally genuinely hates everyone but her so much that he becomes obsessed with her. And the book is so good, guys. I haven't read this book in so long, so if I don't sound like I'm making sense, I'm very sorry. I want to reread it soon, so if any of you guys want to buddy read it with me, let me know and I will make a group chat. But it is just so like psycho. Like, he's so obsessive with her, and it's just amazing. It's just so good. I loved it, and he literally hates everyone but her. So if you want a little bit more of a crazy, I feel like the ones I've been recommending are crazier, but so good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna recommend 3 more books. Some of these are basically you've probably heard of all of them. The next one that I'm recommending is Colty, and I feel like I've mentioned this so many times on my channel. If you have not read this, you need to as soon as possible. It is so good. It basically follows Saul, and she is a professional soccer player on the women's, I think not the US team, but maybe like, I don't know really how that works, but she is a professional soccer player, and She has spent her whole life loving soccer. Her family loves soccer. She's always grown up in that environment of just soccer loving people who watch every whatever day it goes on, and she's always been inspired by Colty, Reiner Colty. He's a very famous soccer player. He had all these, you know, sponsorships, and he was just super popular, and basically he was loved by everyone. And Sal was kind of always just like, she was looked up to him. She wrote him notes. She was in love with him. She had his posters up on the wall. She had cakes for his birthday with him on it, and basically she was just like a super fan. And so years go by, she's grown up, she's playing soccer. She gets word that she has a new coach who's coaching her team. And she finds out that it is Reiner Colty, the one and only, who she has looked up to, who she's loved. And he's not what he seems. He's actually a complete a-hole. He hates everyone and he treats everyone badly. And she has to cope with the guy who she's pictured and loved for all her life and the real one who's actually a horrible human being. It does have a little bit of an age gap. It's also forbidden. And this one, I Hate Everyone But You, is genuinely hates everyone but her. He cannot stand anyone. He's getting in trouble in the press. He hates that he has to coach this team. And he just has a lot of built up resentment and built up anger. And it is so good. So if you haven't read Colty, read it. This is my favorite Mariana Zapata, and this is going to be the last time I talk about this for a while because I feel like I talk about this book a lot, but it's so good. If you haven't read it, pick it up. The next one is incredibly basic, but it is one of my favorites, and I feel like I can't talk about I Hate Everyone in the World But You unless I mention an LJ Shen. I know, but it's vicious. It's vicious, like, but basically all of LJ Shen's books are very much I Hate Everyone in the World But You. But I think this is a good starting place if you want to read LJ Shen for the very first time. I love her books. I don't love her as a person. I feel like I have touched on this in a video, so if you didn't see that, I'll just touch on it again. Her books got me through a really dark time in my life. Wow, my camera's about to die. Her books got me through a very dark time in my life, and they just mean so much to me. This series means so much to me, and her books mean so much to me, so I will keep reading her. I don't know, I'm still trying to find the balance if I should recommend her, if I shouldn't, because I just don't know. But I really love her books. I don't love her as a person, and I'm separating her work from her. I thought I would let you guys know if you didn't know. But Vicious by LJ Shen is amazing. If you haven't read it, you should. I feel weird. I don't know what the balance is. Vicious follows Amelia and Vicious. Vicious is this cold a-hole, and he literally treats everybody but crap except for his 3 best friends, and he really hates everyone. Everyone, genuinely everyone, his family, everybody around school. He only tolerates his friends, and he's just kind of a cold person. He's incredibly rich, and his parents decide to hire a family to live in the guest house, and basically the mom is going to take care of the cleaning inside the house and the cooking and whatever, and the dad is going to be the pool person and the grounds person. And they have 2 daughters, Amelia and Rosie. And Rosie's a year younger, I believe, and Amelia is a senior this year, so she's in Vicious's grade. And the book starts off with Amelia hearing something that she shouldn't have, and immediately that puts her on Vicious's I hate you list, his bully list. He basically bullies the living crap out of her. The thing is, he has an obsession with her. He is super intrigued by her. He wants to get to know everything about her in secrecy. He gets super possessive and jealous of her, and he literally, she doesn't even know that he doesn't hate her because he's just so obsessed with her. I'm just recommending you guys like all my favorite like psychos, basically. Mr. Masters by Teal Swan. I love this book. I buddy read this with Charles from Books on Stereo, and this was such a fun buddy read. It was so much fun to read with him, and I absolutely adored this book. Mr. Masters is basically a nanny romance with a single father and his 2 kids. Our heroine, she is just moving to the country. I forgot, it's either Australia, I think it's Australian possibly, but she's moving to Australia, kind of having a fresh start. She kind of bluffed on her you know, resume, but she just wants a new job and she wants a new start and she wants to have fun. And so basically she becomes a nanny for Mr. Masters, and Mr. Masters is this cold older man. He doesn't like anyone really except for his kids and a few of his friends. He's just kind of this cold person. He treats the nanny super coldly and he doesn't really give her the time of the day. He doesn't waste his energy. He's a workaholic. He just doesn't, he's not really open to anyone in the first place. There's so much incredible tension in here. I love this book and it opened the whole can of worms for me for Teal Swan. I want to keep reading all of her books. This book was so amazing. The tension was amazing. I was laughing out loud. I felt super giddy and just, it was so much fun. And I loved seeing the heroine's elements with the children and how she got them to open their shell with them. And it's so good. And through the children is how he started to love her. The smut in here was simply so amazing. There's just so much to go into this book, and he, like all these other heroes, hates everyone in the world but her, or isn't, I guess, open to it, because, you know, with his previous wife, he's just genuinely not open to anyone else. It kind of starts off as a friends with benefits situation, turns into more. So there's also that element to this book. And yeah, check out this book if you haven't already. It is so amazing and I think you guys would really enjoy it. The last series is especially twisted and wicked, and I am dying to talk to you guys about it. I feel like I've talked about it once on my channel, like maybe when I first started, but I haven't talked about it again. But this series is so good if you're looking for another toxic, incredibly toxic, I hate everyone in the world but you, like almost on an unhealthy level. And that is the Royal Elite series by Rena Kent, and this is the same author who wrote the Love and Hate Duet. This series is so good. The first 3 books, I believe, follow Aiden and Elsa or something like that, and it is so amazing. Basically, Elsa, she's starting off at a new school. You guys already know the drill, but it's dark and twisty. She's starting off at a new school, of course, and somehow she's managed to piss off the 4 most popular guys at the school, mainly head of the group. He says something along the lines of, I hate you, I don't want to see your face again, I'm gonna make you suffer, something like that. And she's confused, like she's like, what? I just met you. Incredibly toxic. So again, if you don't like that toxicity, stay clear. But he literally hates everyone but her. Literally, there's so many things in this book that I love. There's jealousy, and there's like purposeful jealousy to make the other person jealous, which I love. There's darker themes and elements. There's repressed memories, traumatic stuff like trauma, and I sound crazy, but there's traumatic stuff. Just super obsessive and super weird and super stalkerish, but the vibes in here are just so fun. Like, and he hates everyone but her, obviously. He only tolerates his friends. Like, he's not super attached to his friends, but like in a way he is, but in a way that not a lot of people know. Like, they'd probably think that he's fine by himself, but no, in reality he needs his friends. But other than his friends, he genuinely hates everyone. He's just doing his thing. He hates everyone but the heroine, and even for a while he hates the heroine, but we can see, like, through our reader eyes that he is just obsessed with her and infatuated with her and intrigued by her, wants to get to know her, and it's the best thing. So those are the books that I'm recommending for I Hate Everyone in the World But You. I have so many more books on this list. I only chose, I think, like 5 or 6 because I wanted to have enough books to talk about for a long time with you guys, and I feel like if I give you guys 10 recommendations, I'll be running out pretty quick. So let me know if you guys want a part 2 to this video. I'd be so down to film it. Also, down below, let me know your favorite I Hate Everyone in the World But You recommendation. I'd love to know and add them to my TBR because, like I said, it's one of my favorite tropes. Also, today I hit 2,000 subscribers and I'm so beyond excited. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers, and it's so exciting and I'm so happy. So thank you guys so much for all your love and support. It truly means the world to me. And yeah, thank you guys again. I love you all so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss another upload from me. That is all, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.